The first step in the pontoon system installation is to install the lift bracket. This will mount permanently to the kayak. It installs just behind the leaning post. It should be noted that on shorter kayaks, it can be installed underneath the leaning post, but the closer it is to the seat, the more it will affect your paddle stroke. When it's installed just behind the leaning post, it really is, your paddle stroke is unaffected. Now you have three options for fastening the channel to the kayak. The first, we've mentioned before, are the rivets. Once again, you need room for expansion inside the kayak, about a 1/2 inch diameter for the rivet to expand. Second is a number 14 screw. And the third are bolts and nuts, number 10 bolts and a nut. Obviously, with the bolt and nut, you need to have access to the inside of the kayak, which doesn't exist on all kayaks. Since this kayak has a bit of an angled surface, we've chosen to use the screws, and we're going to put it right at the top of the angle here. We'll screw right down into the kayak at that point. The channel should be mounted approximately 1.5 inches behind the leaning post or more. It doesn't hurt to mount it farther back, but the closer, you want to keep it reasonably close to the leaning post, because that'll create more stability when you stand up from the standing position. We want to center it up side to side on the kayak. You can use a tape measure to measure, or you can just visually center it up. It really is rather unimportant if you're off 1/4 inch or less. And now we're going to mark where the fasteners are going to install. It should be noted that when you mark for the fasteners, make sure you keep them far enough away from the vertical surface of the channel so that the heads won't interfere as they're trying to be driven into the kayak, whether it's a bolt, a screw, or rivet. Now I'm marking the locations where the screws in this case will be installed. Now, since I'm using the screws, it requires a larger hole in the lift channel. I'm using a 17/64 inch drill bit to act as a clearance hole for the screws. If you were using the rivets, you would use 13/64 inch holes through the channel and into the kayak. But in this case, we're just going to pre-drill the channel only with a 17/64 inch bit, and then we'll replace the channel where it goes, and we will drill 3 32nd pilot holes in the kayak. So now I'm going to drill just the channel, not the kayak. Two more. Now I'm replacing the channel to the spot on the kayak where it's going to sit. And I'm marking the locations for the screws. Now I'm going to drill 3 32nd pilot holes. Those are 9/64 pilot holes at those 4 locations into the kayak. 9/64, not 3 32nd. Now I'm going to switch to my number 3 Phillips head bit. Replace the channel back in its spot. And install the 4 number 14 screws. There we go. Now we're going to install the pontoon arm on the pontoons. You'll note that the pontoons have a raised end that's intended to face forward on the kayak, and obviously you want the color logo facing to the outside. You don't need any tools for this. All you need are the 2 wing nuts and the 2 5/16 flat washers. Simply place the arm down in the keyway, put on a washer, and tighten down the nut. That's all there is to it. Over a period of time, through heating and cooling, day-night temperatures, you may notice some condensation building up inside the pontoons. You'll actually be able to hear liquid rolling around in there. At the factory, we install a small drain hole that you can take the kayak, pontoon, tip it upside down, and drain it out that little hole in the event that you do notice some condensation, and that'll take care of it. Whenever you're installing the pontoons to the lift channel, if you follow 2 simple steps, it will be really easy. Number 1, always hold your hand out by the pontoon. Don't try and hold the pontoon arm here. Hold it right up next to the pontoon. Number 2, just take the pin, hold it flat right on top of the pontoon arm, and just slide in on an angle to the desired spot. And then just slide the pin into place. And the last step, pull back on the spring-loaded latch and put the pontoon down into position.